Hello and welcome to the Broadcast Tech Talks podcast, TV industry podcast from the Broadcast Tech team. My name's Jake Bickerton and I'm the editor of Broadcast Sport and Broadcast Tech magazines. So we got Fadi Radi, which I'm hoping I'll pronounce correctly, who's Director of Creative at Arabiya News Channel. And we're also joined by Gerhard Lang, who's Chief Technology Officer at Vizrt. And this is all about a kind of rainforest set that was created for the news channel that looks phenomenal, it has to be said. And we want to talk about the growth of these virtual environments in, news broadcasts and elsewhere as well. And, how they're created, how long they take to create, where Vizrt sort of slots into the workflow. And we thought it'd be great to maybe start off with Fadi to talk through a little bit about what this virtual set looks like, really, and what the sort of concept was behind it.
Thank you for hosting us. In fact, this is what we call extended reality or XR. And it's part of storytelling tools that we use a lot on our channel. Basically, this tool or this is all driven by Vizrt graphics. And it's all done in real time. So right. Basically, all what we produce, we transmit that as live. This is part of a weekly show that we are using. It's called Hour 60. And this show is about the latest, or I would say the weekend updates for it, that treats things in a different way. It shows the files of the week, but it shows all the events that happened, but in depth, in a better way, in more graphical presentation, lots of AR, lots of graphics as well in that to explain for people what is going on.
All right.
Brilliant. So we came up with this extended reality idea to extend the studio. We used a lot of studio extensions before, but all was inside the video wall itself. This one, we use it as an AR element that divides the set into two pieces. One is an open environment that you can do anything literally inside it. And the other one will be the studio. And also the studio has an extended set on the background of the video wall. So if you look at the space that we are using, it's really very small compared to the results that we are having. And this is the main aspect that we're using the extended reality is to remove any limits that we have in the studio or things like that. So this is a series of tomorrow will be the 19th episode of this weekend show. Mm-hmm. And we created so far 18 different XRs, each one every week. So so that was one of them, and it was about environment. So the story, it was telling people that the lungs of Earth, which are the Amazons, are threatened by all the environment activities that people are doing against the climate change and all that. Mm-hmm. And it might turn into savanna where we don't see any more trees. So we wanted to show the beauty of the Amazons. We wanted to show the beauty of also we showed some birds, some insects, a lot of kind of animals inside there because they are also threatened if the Amazon turns into that. So this was the editorial story. So to present that, we found that this is the best way to do it. We used a mix of the actual images and videos. We modeled a lot of things to look like exactly the same. So we went through a lot of images, a lot of videos, seeing how the Amazon looks like. I've never been to the Amazon, neither are my designers. So they looked at the videos and they started to paint those elements in 3D, and creating them. So at the end, it looked like almost real forest.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say we're doing so many of these as well, and making them so immersive and realistic looking, you'd imagine that would take quite a long time. So how do you sort of factor in all the time it takes to do that when you've got so many these are weekly change arounds?
Yeah, actually, what took time at the beginning was to create the setup, because
Right.
to create a setup, create the camera tracking, and load everything in place. So whenever you create the setup for the scene, it takes a little bit of time. Then it became a weekly operation. Like we have covered so many aspects. We have covered underwater. We have covered in the sky. We have covered over the clouds, things related to space, things related to Afghanistan, nuclear, Iran, constructions, and so many things. Like whatever the editorial story requires, we could create that using the tools that we have. We're using Vizrt, and that supports 100% all the tracking, all the camera movements in real time. And we used also like a lot of nice water elements inside that, because this is something really great. We're using version 4 for this, for Viz, and we're mixing that also with Unreal. So that gives us no limits, to be honest, wherever we want to go with all the tools that we have.
Amazing. And Gerhard, this is obviously a client that is really pushing the boundaries of what's possible with this technology, and doing it on such a changeable sort of environment where they're adapting this set every week. Can you talk a little bit about whether this is sort of a typical type of workflow that's now happening, and also how this could be applied to other potential clients as well?
Well, Jake, I mean, you spotted it right. The team around Fadi is very special in how they turn things over, in what time they turn it over, but also the ideas they come up and how they utilize the technology that we can provide to them. So as Fadi explained, they're using the video wall, they're using the extension sets, but they're also using green screen or pure AR elements, like, for example, what they did with the election. So we have very few customers which would cover that spectrum from a single team and combine all of that with the frequency they do in weekly shows, but also in the daily operations. Generalizing what they are doing, I think, is difficult. Mapping this to our customers as well. So we can take segments and look at them independently, analyze them, and see, what has been done there. But the complete package is something which requires a skilled team like Fadi has it underneath to really make it happen. So we are providing the tools, and Epic is providing the tools, but in the end, it is the creativity of the team, it's the skills of the team that make them happen. Probably the tools that we are providing here makes up 20-30% of everything that is needed, and the rest is the mindset, the creativity, and the skills. And this is something we cannot provide to every customer.
That's it.
And I said, it's very different. So the Amazon, for example, is an explanatory piece that helps visualize, the story in a very playful way. Then the video wall, for example, is more informative. So that's a different mindset. It's a different kind of information that you are transporting. And all of them are slightly different. All of them give you opportunities. All of them give you possibilities to tell your stories better, but in a very different kind of a way and with different kind of technology.
And so, Fadi, what sort of team size do you have, and what sort of skill sets are you looking for in your team?
My team is about 30 people, but we serve 2 news channels, and we serve also all the platforms. We have social media platforms of all kinds. We have 140 million followers all over those platforms. We have specialist 3D artists. We have specialist people who work with Viz and Unreal, and some people are specialized in Unreal. All of them knows, all those people, the caliber of 3D artists. And they have really the dedication. This is what makes things really special, because they love what they do and they do it with passion, and they understand the editorial line that we are working with. We're also the editorial team. The presenter of this show is young female presenter. She understands a lot of the graphics backgrounds, and when she writes the script for that, she writes it in a way that it can be visualized in a nice way. So it's a combination of editorial and graphics team who understand the idea, sit together, discuss it, and see what is the best way out of it. It's teleportation of the presenter into a scene. So we teleported her into the Amazon, and that's what we saw. We saw there as if we are in the Amazon. One of the interesting teleportation that we did was they wanted to talk about Corona, COVID-19. And we thought, okay, let's teleport her inside the bloodstream.
Right.
So we use a bloodstream. We use like a vein all over, like the size of the studio. And the coronavirus was that huge between the red and white blood cells going into that stream. So people saw it in totally different perspective and totally different way.
Amazing.
And yeah, so you can literally teleport the studio into any environment, because this is the power of using the XR or the extended reality sets.
And does it take the presenter some time to get used to? Because in this kind of environment where actually the physical space is quite small, but you've made this kind of massive extended reality set. Yeah, that must be quite difficult, from, when you're actually standing in the green screen space to understand what's going on.
Exactly, because literally she's talking to walls, and that's it. But she does the great interaction, because we let her to see the scene before. She constructed part of it while in her script while she's writing, so that makes her live the script while performing it, and that's what makes things really different and stronger, to be honest, for the audience. So the audience believe that there is something really inside. Like one of the XRs got around 2.5 million views. It was like we were saying floods inside the Arabiya studio, and she interacted like there are floods there. So this is really what makes things really special, when you have a complete idea, when you have a complete script, and when you have, and this is where we call this show the future of news, because to have journalists and presenters who understand visuals, and to let also the graphic designers to understand editorially what is required. This is what makes the equation really great, and this is what creates soul for the work, and this is what makes it really special. This is my strong belief in that.
No, it sounds like you're making it work in a very special way that, frankly, I can't think of any other news provider globally that's going to such lengths to create something new and unique for the viewer as well, to really, get to grips with what's going on in the news and really visualize it in a different way. Gerhard, on a simple level, how does the Vizrt part of the workflow slot in, with Unreal, and what does it enable that, just using Unreal by itself might not enable, to sort of slot into these broadcast workflows?
Unreal by itself offers already a great number of opportunities to the viewers, but what we have inherent in our system are broadcast workflows, as you mentioned, with the possibility to change content and bring new content and stuff like that. Combine Unreal backgrounds with informational graphics, which are easy to use in a broadcast environment. And of course, when you are in the Vizrt ecosystem, you benefit from all the control applications, but also from all the tracking devices that we support. Like when we are selling XR sets, one of the integral parts is a piece of software that aggregates all the information coming from tracking devices, whether Spy from Stipe or, any kind of tracking system, we can make sure that the delays of the different trackers, that the matching of the virtual camera with the real camera is always 100% spot on and perfect. There's a lot of other smaller additions that are very helpful. For example, recording possibilities to go back and replay and, rehearse in an easy way, stuff like that. It's just like a very complete workflow that we're offering, plus the integration of Unreal on top with, the support of the video cards that are native to our systems.
Fadi, from your point of view, when you were setting all this up in the first place, deciding to take this quite small physical space into the extended reality world, was it complicated to work out what sort of products you would need to create this workflow? And how did you sort of go about making it work technically, and so that you were confident this is going to work in real time and live and regular changing environments as well?
Yeah. Actually, we don't have to think much. We just ask Gerhard what is the best way to use it. They are really supportive. They really create a lot of awareness of what's in you, what's going on. Gerhard is pushing us a lot to use the new tools. Use Vizrt. You guys need to do this. You need to do that. And also we're online, like in lots of weeks we chat, and I send him things for his opinion, and he gives me suggestions. And so basically technicalities are easy. And with the infrastructure we have is just plug in another engine or plug in another piece of equipment, and things will work magically. So this is the way it is. It's a workflow that is fully automated. It depends on a lot of, I would say, big infrastructure with VizPilot, Viz Engines, Viz Virtual Tracking Hub, all that. So all what we need to do is either connect the camera or add another camera or add another engine, remove another. This is the way we think about it. It's about how much we want to invest for this piece, and how much the time the guys can spend on that. So because they have other things, they don't spend the whole week doing just this XR.
No, right.
And literally the XR is done by 2 people and the art director. Sometimes it's one guy and the art director. Sometimes it's a combination. Yeah. So it's about picking the right environment, picking the right, I would say, angles of this environment that will create the wow factor. And using Unreal or Viz4 gives us also the hyper-realistic look, which is amazing. And this is something that can lets you get things in really like very close to real life situations. And this is amazing. And this what makes things look more beautiful and look more solid. On another hand, we use sometimes, we did that twice, we use 360 images. We were talking about Beirut explosion that happened last year. Yeah. We shot a 360 image of Beirut, and we got that into the system on a semisphere. And when you move the tracking, the whole scene will move with you. So that creates like a virtual window or virtual R or something that is moving with the tracking. So you move the camera and the buildings are moving. And that's put you really on the edge of the mountain that we shot from. So this is how it is. It's really flexible. And the way we any way we can think about it, we can just create the environment, put it there, or get the 360 images or videos or any of that, and create the graphics on top of it.
It's like a combination of the virtual production and virtual studio environment all together in one bit, isn't it? You've kind of got the volume stage, and you've also got all of the virtual extensions as well.
What we use for this is a camera from Electric Friends, which is really a great camera. It's like a pole that is moving inside the studio. It's very accurate with the tracking data, very accurate when it comes to Vizrt scene. So if you put one element in one place, no matter the camera moves, track in, track out, pan left, pan right, tilt up, anything of the camera movements that happens, you keep the same piece in the same place in the studio or in the XR, which is amazing possibility, because in that case you can really like cut the studio accurately with the curves that we have, because the studio we have is organic and it has a lot of curves. So we the way we cut it also on the same curve of the camera track that we are using. So when you move, you track in or you track out, or you move in and out, you move with the curve, and the whole studio is moving the same way. So this creates the harmony. I hope I'm not going very technical.
No, I'm following it, which is which is a good thing.
but this is the beauty of it, because in some of those scenes we put glass between the scene and the presenter, like a virtual glass. And it looked brilliant because he's in space, and we didn't want her to look, fake, like looking into space. No, she's in a studio in the space. Or like underwater, the same thing. Like you go, and also when we raise the water above, we also use like kind of barrier to move things up and down with the camera movement, and the same time with the actions that we do inside the XR.
Gerhard, the way Fadi describes it, so it's a true sort of partnership, collaboration between manufacturer and customer in a real sense, where Fadi's relying on you to kind of make it easy for him to implement all these incredible ways of making that studio look just fantastic. Do you want to sort of talk a little bit about the partnership that you have together?
It's been dating back many years, and the creativity and the ideas of Fadi and the team captured us from the time where we met, and we partner with quite a few customers, right? And we try to spot the ones that where we have like a mutual understanding, where we have mutual passion for the topics, for the technology, and so on. And with Fadi and Arabiya, we have a very good relationship in that sense. So we feed each other, we get a lot of ideas back from them. It's like, this is what we want to do. How could we achieve that? Probably ends up as a feature inside our software, and vice versa. When we develop something new, we keep them informed and telling them like, this is what you could be doing with that part of the studio, or, things like that. So try to keep it alive as good as possible, even with pandemic. I mean, we search our way more often before. And the studio, if you see that in real life, is beautiful. The way it is shaped, the organic shapes that Fadi described, and the possibilities you get from there, it's just amazing.
Incredible stuff. Fadi, what's your sort of vision for the future now? I mean, you're already kind of ahead of where most people are on this, but what do you see in the next sort of few years for your presentations?
I can see the mixed reality, or the interactive mixed reality is the future. It's happening everywhere on all levels. You can see all the now interactive devices. You can see all the HoloLens and Magic Leap and all this. It's a mix of reality and the augmented reality and the interaction between them. And I think this is what will drive more and more the technology into the TV industry. It will, of course, everything in real time. Everything is hyper realistic. Everything is almost like happening as if it is in front of you. That will continue. That will be more. And I think the competition now will be more about ideas and more interactivity, rather than what kind of I would say what kind of equipment or information of things like that, because now like all the equipment does everything that you need. You can also develop your own piece of software. You can use plugins from Vizrt. You can use a lot of things additionally to what you use. But what really matters at the end, ideas, creativity, and interactivity.
You can have the best tools. It doesn't really matter what you get, but if you don't have the people who understand how they should model something, what they need to modify, what scale they should be using. Those kind of sounds like simple things, but minor details that make or break the believability of your virtual environment. And those are the skill sets and resources that Fadi has at his hands that make those productions really outstanding.
Yeah.
If any of those break, the whole thing will lose greatly, and believability goes down dramatically.
Thanks very much, both of you. That was a really great chat. And, congratulations on all the stuff you've done. Good luck for the future, Fadi. I'll be keeping an eye on what you'll be up to, I'm telling you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Take care,
Thanks,
mate.
Jake.
See you later.
Thanks, Fadi. Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and rate us. I'll see you next time for the next episode of the Broadcast Tech Talk series.